It's time once again for HTBL Baseball. Sound like Vin Scully when I do that. Hello, everybody. Big Paulie coming to you. We're playing our fourth game, April 9th, in terms of the game timeline. We will recap what took place on April 7th, our last episode. Go through the results as they all occurred. I play out one game, then I play my Tampa Bay game. I take control of Tampa Bay's managing, and if they are the game of the week, I will play as them, whether or not they are on the road or not. And for everybody else, I play as the home team. I'll make a request once the game starts because I'm trying to find a graphic on the game board, I guess you could call it, that I did have up when I got the game, but I can't find how to activate it. So I'll make that request once the game gets started. Tampa Bay over Boston 3-2 on April 7th. Hubble, who plays for Tampa Bay, I know he's a New York Giant, but he wound up in the draft because there is no such thing as the New York Giants unless you're part of the NFL. Hubble over Roger Clemens. Balfour got the save. The Yankees rebounded nicely after losing the first game to Baltimore, took two. Last game being 8-2, roughing over Jim Palmer. Posada went 2 for 4, a homer and 4 ribbies. Toronto over Detroit 6-2. Henkin over Virgil Fire Trucks. AJ Przinsky 2 for 4, a homer and 2 ribbies. St. Louis, the Browns over Minnesota 4-2. Davenport beats Blyleven. Jacobson, Baby Doll Jacobson, 2 for 4, and he hit a homer, his second of the season. Texas blanked Oakland to sweep them 6-0. Mullen over Blue. Toby Hara, 1 for 2, a double, a stolen base, and 2 walks. Philadelphia beat Miami 6-4. Robin Roberts over Ricky Nolasco. Jimmy Rollins, 2 for 4, a homer, and 2 ribbies. The Mets over the Nationals 7-4. McDowell over Rivera. Tommy Agee went 3 for 4, a homer and 4 ribbies. Montreal defeats Cincinnati 11-7. Martinez over Raffensberger. Valentine 3 for 5 and a home run, his first of the year. Atlanta beats Pittsburgh 4-2 to win their series. Maddox over Tannehill. Pena 1 for 3 and a homer. In the game you saw on our last edition, Cleveland beat Chicago 3-1. Lemon over Donovan. Lajoie went 1 for 3 and a double. Houston mauled Kansas City 12-3. Wilson over Splittorf. Bagwell went 2 for 4 and a home run. The Cubbies beat Milwaukee 7-5 to avoid being swept. Zambrano over Higuera. Ryan Sandberg went 3 for 5 and hit 3 ribbies. His homer was his first of the year. The Cardinals edged the Rockies 3-2. Gibson over Willis. Helton 2 for 4 and a home run. The Mariners over the Angels 8-2. Rudolph over Lackey. It was Ken Griffey Jr. 2 for 4 and a homer and 4 ribbies. Well, it can't get any closer and low scoring than this. The Giants over the Padres 1-0. Mesa, that went 13 innings. Mesa beat Lefferts. Reese 2 for 5, a triple and a double. And finally, LA sweeps Arizona. Of course, in real life, Arizona doing very poorly right now with a 23-game road losing streak. 8-3 was the final here. Hershiser over Heron. Green 2 for 4, 2 ribbies, and a triple. So that brings us to today's game, which is actually going to be played at night. Atlanta and Cincinnati. So we will get that started. I play as Cincinnati. Computer will play as Atlanta. We're at the Great American Ballpark in Cincinnati. We use all 2020 parks with the exception of Montreal using their 2000 park factors, and the St. Louis Browns using their 1944 park factors. That was the year they went to their only World Series. Setting the computer line up. And off we go.
Pitching for Cincinnati, Fred Tony.
Fred Tony, your pitcher for the Reds. We'll go through the lineups right now. It's going to be Furcal leading off at short. Gar, second. Left field, batting third, Cecil Cooper in first base, David Justice in right field, Murphy playing center, Dale Murphy, Javi Lopez, your catcher, Terry Pendleton at third, I think that's Ozzie Virgil at DH, and Bill Mazeroski, the Pirate, playing second base for the Braves. And some of you, like Luke Brown, wonder how could that happen, a Pirate playing for the Braves? Well, what happens is we take the 40 best players of each of the 32 franchises. Some franchises, or some franchises in different locales, or old locales, were not covered with the exception of Montreal and the St. Louis Browns. When that happens, there was a 10-round draft, the order determined by random draw, because this is the first season, and players from the 19th century, players from the New York Giants, Philadelphia A's, Brooklyn Dodgers, any team that did not exist, does not exist at their current location, with the exception of, like I said, the Montreal and the St. Louis Browns, were eligible to be drafted. So you will see players in other places. Like, for instance, Hank Aaron is not in the Atlanta lineup because he was not picked by, somehow, Atlanta, because he started out as a Milwaukee Brave and he's listed in the game as such in the historical collection. Therefore, he was eligible to be picked by anybody, and Tampa Bay picked him up with their first pick. So that's how that happens. We'll set the defense for Cincinnati. Dunn, a 5 in left field, a 6 arm. Pinson in center, 8 and 7. Robinson, Frank Robinson in right, a 5 and a 6. Groves a 7 at third base, Larkin a 7 at short, Joe Morgan a 9, Konichi is a 7. No Pete Rose in the starting lineup, which is a head scratcher to many. In fact, he's not even in the line. He's not even on the bench. So he could be eligible for a waiver draft at some point during the season. Now, I'll explain how this works. On the odd days of the calendar, batters are eligible, and we pick a random team, and we look at the OPS, the highest OPS on the team that is not on the active roster. I look at that player and I ask, did they play for other teams? If not, that one of those teams can pick him up. Like Manny Ramirez was waived to Tampa Bay just recently. Yeah, I know. I run Tampa Bay, and this is how it happened. Ramirez was the highest player in terms of OPS that was not active, so I did a random draw amongst the teams Ramirez, other than Boston played with, and Tampa Bay wound up getting him. I know, just my luck, right? So with all that done, it's Tony and Furcal, and I'll make my request during this top of the first inning. Here's the pitch to Furcal, grounder up the middle, Larkin to Konichi, and there's one out. Now you might notice the two boxes here on the lower right, bottom left of your screen where Tony and Gar's stats are. I don't think you can see my mouse, but you could see what the mouse does. When I started playing this game a little over a week ago, there was a probabilities box above where the pitcher would be. Somehow along the way in this last week to 10 days I've been playing Action PC Baseball, I turned it off, and I would like to turn it back on again. So if anybody who is familiar with Action PC Baseball knows how to turn the green probability box, as I like to call it, that would be above the pitcher, on, like Al Red Sox fan or maybe Uncle Ron Chuckett, please let me know, because I would like to show that to everybody. So with that, Gar, left field, the second place hitter, grounder up the middle, Morgan, Konichi, and that is 2 outs. Now, Morgan originally played for the Houston Astros, but the game lists him as Cincinnati, so that's what we use. Cooper, Cecil Cooper, stepping in. He's 5 for 14 so far in the season, which translates to 357, no homers, but 2 RBIs. That's hit to right center field. Morgan, it's a pop fly. He grabs it.
For Atlanta, Tom Glavine.
And Atlanta done in the first. Setting up the Cincinnati lineup, Morgan at second base, Veda Pinson at center, Frank Robertson in right, Frank Robertson was an anchor here in Tampa for Channel 13 for many years. Larkin at short, Dunn in left, Konichi first base. Lombardi is the DH. Johnny Bench hits 8th, and Heine Groh, yes, that's his name, he plays third. Defensively for Atlanta, Gar is a 5-5 in the left, Murphy a 9-6 at center, David Justice a 6-5 in right, Pendleton a 9 at third, for Cal an 8 at short, Mazeroski from the Pirates a 10 at second base, Cecil Cooper an 8 at first, Glavin is a 7, and Lopez is a 6 with an arm of 5. Morgan will get us started. So far on the year, he's 364, 1 homer, and 3 ribbies. No stolen bases as of yet, but he is a threat to steal. Justice with the putout, and there's 1 out. Pinson, your new hitter. Pinson so far on the year, 273 with 3 ribbies. And that's ball 4, so Pinson aboard. He's 73% to steal, so let's go for it. Try to break up the double play, but caught stealing was Pinson. So there's now 2 outs for Frank Robertson. Right back to the pitcher, Glavin over to Cooper. And we've played an inning, no score. If I didn't mention it, Tony was a 4, is a 4 defense as his pitching role. Johnny Bench is a 10 with a 9 arm, so you're not going to steal too many bases off of him. Tony, his EPC is 125. He only threw 8 pitches in the first. Glavin is at 110. He threw 14. David Justice now up, and that is ball 4. Teams had a day off between the series, so we will probably see the ace pitchers come back as we barnstorm through the league a little earlier than they would normally, and that fifth place starter might see some relief action in some instances. So with Justice at first, it's Dale Murphy. He smokes it to left. Done. A foul ball. And the count now 1-2. Justice not really a threat to steal in this circumstance. That's hit to center with height. Pinson will watch it fly away. A home run for Dale Murphy of Atlanta, and it's 2-0. That's only the second home run we have had for you during this HTBL series. We had one in the second game with Mike Schmidt hitting a homer. That went 386, and it was good enough to plate 2 runs. And that gets Murphy, I believe that was his first home run of the year. We will look. And yeah, let me see here. That was his first home run. He's now at 6 ribbies. So here's Lopez, Javi Lopez, him no slouch at the plate either. Pinson watches this one go. A home run, back-to-back dingers for the Braves. Lopez hits it out, 3-0. Murphy and Lopez with back-to-back ding-dongs. And here's Terry Pendleton. Pendleton on the year so far. This is his first plate appearance of the season, actually. This is hit well to left, and Dunn makes the catch, and Cincinnati avoids the humiliation of having back-to-back home runs given up. Virgil, Ozzie Virgil, the DH, 4 for 10. 1 RBI so far in this year. A dead ball, a hit batter. So Virgil aboard. Chalkboard a little strange here with Great American Park, but that's fine. Bill Mazeroski, the 9-hitter up. So far on the year, he's hitting .250, a homer, and 5 ribbies. Grounder to short. Larkin will try for the play at first. He's out. And with 2 outs, we go back to the top of the order. And Rafael for Call. For Call, 125 so far on the year. No homers, no ribbies. Grounder to third. Grow. Takanachi in time to beat Furcal to the bag, but Atlanta does some serious damage in the second. Back-to-back homers by Murphy and Lopez, 3-0, they lead. So Barry Larkin now up for the Reds, 200 on the year so far, no homers for ribbies. I like saying ribbies. That's the first strikeout for Tom Glavin. This is his first start of the year, by the way. Dunn now up for Cincy. Hit well to right, but Justice catches it at the warning track for the second out in the Cincinnati second. Bringing up Konichi. Forgot to give you the numbers for Dunn, so let me go back and do that for you. Dunn, so far on the year, is 0-83, counting that at bat that just occurred. Konichi, though, 417, no homers and 2 ribbies. Hit the center. Murphy coming in for it, and that's the final out for Cincy. We go to the third, 3-0 Braves. Ralph Garr up for Atlanta. 182 on the year, 0 for 1 in the game. He has no homers and a ribby. Great play by Larkin, who catches the line drive for the first out. That brings up Cecil Cooper. Cooper on the year, now 333. He is 0 for 1 on the day. No homers, 2 ribbies. Pinson makes a great play in center field. Great play after great play. 2 outs. By the way, the weather conditions tonight at Great American Ballpark this April 9th in sim time, 55 degrees, clear, winds, 10 mile per hour right to left. Justice now up, the last chance for Atlanta in the third. Pinson catches it. It looked like a line drive, and there goes Atlanta in the third. We go to the bottom of the third, 3-0, Atlanta leading. Lombardi now up for Cincinnati. He is the DH. He could also catch. 0-77 on the year, no homers and 1 RBI. That's hit well to left center. Garr makes the putout at the warning track, and there's 1 out. Bench, legendary catcher for Cincinnati. You could still catch him on commercials holding 6 or 7 baseballs. Glavine will work to him. Ball 4 and bench aboard. Not a threat to steal. Here's Heine Groh. I just like saying that name. Only 3 plate appearances, 3 at bats so far on the year. He's 2 out of 3. No homers, no ribbies. Grounder, Pendleton to Mazeroski. They get the force at second, and that is all. Don't want to steal with Groh at first base because you got Joe Morgan up. Morgan 0 for 1 on the day. His batting average is at .333, a homer and 3 ribbies. They go to first, trying to keep Groh honest. Well, I wasn't going to run anyway. Glavine dealing to Morgan. Grounder. And they try to get Morgan at first. He's safe. So Morgan beats out an infield hit. Now you got Pinson up. And a homer could tie this game. He's .273 on the year. No homers, 3 ribbies. See what happens as they deal to him. Grounded. It's a single. It's a single. Let's see what happened. Got in front of Lopez. And Pinson somehow with the infield single. Maybe it deflected off of Lopez in the foul territory. Who knows? Frank Robinson now up with the bases loaded. He's 0 for 1 on the day. .286. No homers, no ribbies. Hit well to right. But Justice coming in, he will watch it go foul. Couldn't get to it. So Robinson gets another crack at it, 0-2. Ball 4, that brings in a run. Bases loaded walk and an RBI for Robinson. That brings up Barry Larkin. Larkin on the year now 182 and 0 for 1 on the day. 3 walks now for Glavine and 1 K. For Cal, can he make the play at second? He can, and the side retired for Cincinnati. So they get 1 back. We go to the fourth, 3-1 Atlanta. Tony, now at 43 pitches, works his 4th inning. It's his first start of the year. Dale Murphy now 545 with the homer and 2 RBIs. 1 for 1 on the day. Could this be 2? Could this be 2 home runs? Oh, well gone, and Murphy, his 2nd home run of the day to make it 4-1. We'll look at the chalkboard again. 343 this went. I'd say it might have gone a little farther. Looked like it hit the second deck. And Murphy has a 2 home run game. First multiple home run game we have had with this series. I don't know if we've had a 2-run game prior to this by anybody. So now Javi Lopez up. He hit a homer his first time up. He's 500, 2 homers, 6 ribbies. Tony getting a shellacking Grounder to second, Morgan to Konichi, and there is one out. Terry Pendleton stepping in, 0 for 1, both in the season and in the game. Tony up the middle. Pinson makes the putout, 2 gone. Virgil up, Ozzie Virgil, 400 on the season, 4 for 10. And he has not had an official at bat so far in this game. Hit well to left, but Dunn coming in and making the putout. We go to the bottom of the fourth. 4-1 Atlanta leading as it stands right now. Dunn leading off in the fourth for Cincinnati. He's 0 for 1 on the day. 083, 1 for 12 so far this year. He looks at strike 3, and Glavin has his second strikeout of the game. Ed Konichi, or Konichi, I don't know how you pronounce that. 385, 5 for 13. No homers and 2 RBIs. He's 0 for 1 so far today. Hit well to left. A line drive home run for Konichi. So Cincinnati, we've had 4 home runs in this game. And Cincinnati draws closer. It's 4-2. Ernie Lombardi, I think they called him Schnoz, 071, 1 for 14, 0 for 1 in this game. Ball 4, he takes his base. Johnny Bench now the tying run. He's 1 for 9 so far this season. He'd love to hit a big fly here. Glavin delivers. Hit to left. It's going to be a foul ball maybe. No, caught by Gar for the second out. This brings up Heine Groh, 500, 2 for 4. 0 for 1 in this game. Glavin deals. Base hit. And a double, which will move Lombardi to third. So now a base hit will tie it for the Big Red Machine. Brings up the top of the order, and Joe Morgan. Morgan, 1 for 2. Ball 4, so the base is now loaded for Veda Pinson, who is 333, 4 for 12. Deal to Glavin, who has 5 walks in the game. Gar's going to bail him out, and the side is retired for Cincinnati in the 4th inning. We have had 3 back-to-back half innings with 1 run scored. It's 4-2. Top of the 5th now. Mazeroski up for Atlanta. Grounder, Groh, 1 out as he throws successfully to Konichi. Rafael Furcal, your new hitter for the Braves, as they go to the top of their order. He's 0 for 2 so far. Great play by Bench to get Furcal. Morgan was covering first base for some reason. It must have been a bunt try. And there's 2 out now for Atlanta in the 5th for Ralph Gar. 0 for 2 today. That smoked to right, but a foul ball. So he will get another crack at it with a 1-2 count. The pitch. Shortstop, Larkin to Konichi. And Atlanta retired in the 5th. We go to the bottom of the 5th. We're halfway through. 4-2 Atlanta over Cincinnati. Atlanta coming in 2-1 on the young season. Cincinnati 1-2. Frank Robinson now up for Cincinnati. He is 0 for 1 today. Glavin deals. He's had 5 walks. And that is a line drive caught by Justice for the first out. Barry Larkin, your new hitter for Cincinnati. 0 for 2 so far today. His third crack at it. Hit well to left, but did he hit it well enough? Did he hit it well enough? Well, Gar says no, and there's 2 outs, as that was a long fly to left, and Gar caught it on the warning track. Dunn, the last chance for Cincinnati to salvage anything in the 5th for Atlanta. Grounder, Mazeroski to Cooper. Side retired in the 5th. So we've played 5 now, 4-2, the Braves leading the Reds. A lot of the experts picked Cincinnati to do well in the HTBL with their very deep lineup. And that Big Red Machine, most of it intact, playing for Cincinnati. Tony now up in his 6th inning. He is at 66 pitches, so he's a little over 13 an inning. Good clip, but Cecil Cooper will try to change that. He's 0 for 2 on today and hitting .313. Line drive right to Larkin, and that's the first out. David Justice now up 231, 0 for 1 on the day. Ball 4, he gets on board. That is now 2 walks for Tony against no strikeouts. Dale Murphy, 2 for 2 with 2 home runs. Can he get the hat trick here? Well, not at this at bat. That's a strikeout. The first for Tony. Lopez is 1 for 2 on the day, 462 on the season with 2 homers and 6 ribbies. Popped up. Who will get it? Looking like it'll be Morgan. He makes the play. And I believe that is it for Atlanta in the 6th. We go to the bottom of inning 6. 4-2, Cincinnati down a couple. Here's Konichi. 1 for 2 on the day. Hit to center. Actually, no, it's a pop up to short, and for Kyle, underneath it, and he makes the put out. We have a relief pitcher coming in. It's going to be Gene Garber.
Pitching for Atlanta, Gene Garber.
So Atlanta going to their bullpen early. Usually in an HTBL game, you don't see the bullpen until like the 7th, 8th inning, but we're seeing it right now in the 6th for, I don't want to say Vince Lombardi, but Ernie Lombardi. 1 for 14, 0 for 71, and 0 for 1 today. Murphy, we have to put out 2 outs now. So Glavine only went 5 1/3, but he will still be the winning pitcher if Atlanta does not surrender the lead at any point during the rest of this game. Johnny Bench now up. That's hit to center. A little bit of height on it, but Murphy, we have to put out. We have played 6. We have the 7th inning stretch coming up after this half inning. Check out the merch at the Big Paulie's World of Sports Sims store, and we'll have the URL for that on the bottom of your screen when we get to the 7th inning stretch. Tony now facing Terry Pendleton, who was 0 for 2 on the day. Strike him out, and that's now the 2nd strikeout for Tony. 2 walks and 2 Ks. He's at 83 pitches. I think we could go with him a little longer. Ozzie Virgil now up 0 for 1. All 4, he takes his base. 3rd walk for Tony. Mazeroski up. Not a great hitter by any stretch of the imagination, but he's got good glove. 200 on the year with a homer and 5 ribbies. Of course, he famously hit the home run to win the 1960 World Series for the Pittsburgh Pirates. 0 for 2 today. Grounder. And something happened there. Looked like an error. Out at, let's see here, out at first, but Mazeroski was able to advance to second. So there was an error. It'll be Furcal up as Atlanta again goes back to the top of the order. Furcal 0 for 3. Mazeroski not a threat to run here. Larkin, Konichi, break time. Ba-ba-ba-ba. And we're back. Bottom of the 7th. We're nearly done with this. 4-2. Atlanta leading Cincinnati. Atlanta looking for their third win in 4 games in this young season. Heine Groh leading off for Cincinnati in the 6th. He's batting .600. 1 for 2 so far today. Grounder. Great play by Mazeroski to get Groh with the throw to Cooper for the first out. Morgan. Back up again. He's hitting 1 for 2 on the day. Garber's still in there for Atlanta pitching. Murphy makes a great play. A lot of great plays defensively in this game. We've had a whole bunch of them. Pinson, the last chance for Cincinnati in the 7th. Garber's worked an inning and a third. No walks or strikeouts. Pinson, 1 for 2 on the day. All four, he'll take his base. Frank Robinson comes in as the tying run. 0 for 2 so far. And he stays 0 for 2 with the walk. So back-to-back walks for Garber. Sorry, folks. Larkin now up, the new Cincinnati hitter, with 2 outs, bottom of the 7th. Hit well to left, but did he get enough of it? And Gar says no. We've played 7. It's 4-2. Tony's said to be looking strong. 98 pitches through 7. I think he's got enough to get through the 8th, and then we can worry about the 9th. Now, Gar up 0 for 3 so far today. And that's an out. No, it is. Is it? It is. Dribbler in front of the plate. Bench made the throw. Oh, it was an error. It was an error. An error and a base. So Gar at second. Cooper now up 0 for 3. You don't want to get in any more trouble, and that's a strikeout. David Justice up with 1 out in the 8th. He is 0 for 1 on the day. Tony so far 7 1/3, 3 walks, 3 Ks. Right back to Tony, who throws to Kenichi. And now Tony at 110 on the pitcher meter. Murphy looking for his 3rd home run still. 2 for 3 on the day, hitting .538. He struck out. Nicely done by the Reds, so they'll have a chance at it. Still trailing by 2 as we head to the bottom of the 8th. So now we look at the bench. Dunn is only 261 against righties, which is what Garber is. Oh, Rose is in. Pete Rose is in the lineup. My apologies. In fact, we're going to put him in right now. Pete Rose, the hit king, banned for baseball since 1989 for betting on baseball while he was the manager for the Cincinnati Reds, and a lot of people think Pete Rose should be reinstated, and I am one of them. He's paid his time. So Garber will deal to Rose, grounder to second, Mazeroski, Cooper, 1 out. Garber, of course, broke up Pete Rose's 44-game hit streak in 1978, which was at the time the longest, and I think it still is the longest since Joe DiMaggio's 56 games in 1941. Kenichi now up for Cincinnati with 1 gone in the 8th. All 4. Now, Lombardi at DH. So we ask the question again. As Ron Juckett likes to say, who can hit a righty? And you got George Foster playing, who could play in this role. We're going to go with him because a homer would tie it. Garber, 3 walks now with no strikeouts. Foster, Murphy, 2 outs. And no, I do not want to advance the runner. We'll keep Kenichi at first. Johnny Bench now up. Base hit to right. And Kenichi will advance to third on the play. Now, interesting situation here. They don't think Bench will try to steal second, but I say let's go for it. Steal second only. And something happened here. That's a stolen base. So Bench at second, Kenichi at third. A well-placed base hit will tie the game. Here's Heine Groh. Count 0-1 to him. Up the middle. To the wall. We have a tie game. Groh is going to go for an inside-the-park home run. And it's 5-4. How about that? That got by Murray, went all the way to the wall, and Groh ran all the way around the bases. So Cincinnati now with a 5-4 lead, and I have to ask, who, pray tell, is Cincinnati's closer? And that is Mitch Williams. The wild thing is with the Reds. I know he played for the Phillies and the Cubs and a few other places, but Cincinnati picked him up. And here's Joe Morgan, 1 for 3 on the day. Steve Bedrosian is now in as the Atlanta pitcher. Up the middle. No, it's gone! A home run for Joe Morgan. That was a line drive that kept rising and rising and rising. Another home run in this game, and it's 6-4. Cincinnati leading with a 4-run rally in the 8th. Pinson, your new hitter for the Reds, 1 for 2 on the day. Had a lot of home runs in this game. I think that was the 5th. Mazeroski to Cooper. Wait a minute. What happened there? Cooper blocked it. It was a bad throw. Cooper got the out successfully. So we're going to bring in Mitch Williams. First, we're going to put somebody in left field. Rose is a 7. Ken Griffey is a 6. We're going to put Rose in. My Wild Irish Rose. And we're going to go to Williams, who could throw 30 pitches. And he will be our closer for Cincinnati in the 9th. Lopez up, 1 for 3 on the day. Hit to center. Pinson, 1 out. 2 more outs to get for the Reds. This would be a nice come-from-behind win for them, considering they were down 4-2 going into the bottom of the 8th. Atlanta has the unusual mark of 4 runs and 3 hits as we go through this 9th inning so far. Pendleton, right center, well, actually right field for Robinson, and that's the 2nd out. 1 more out to get for Cincinnati, and Williams can pick up his 2nd save of the year. He had 1 other appearance, and he's 2/3 of an inning deep into this one. He's given up 1 hit, 1 homer, 1 walk, and he has struck out 3 when you combine the efforts up to this moment. Virgil, the last chance for Atlanta, 0 for 1. And that's your game. Williams strikes out Virgil to end it, and Cincinnati rallies back for a 6-4 win. Nicely done by the Reds, who will go to 2-2 on the year, and Atlanta will drop to 2-2. Glavine only went 5 1/3 on 108 pitches. Tony went 8, got the win. Garber picked up the loss, and Williams with the save. MVP of the game was Heine Groh with the inside the park home run. So that'll do it for this edition of the first season of the HTBL's Game of the Day. I'll do the Tampa Bay game off stage, and then I will come back and bring you at some point in the future the very next game, and we will probably venture into the American League Midwest Division with Kansas City, St. Louis, Houston, and Minnesota in it. It'll be 2 of those 4 teams. That'll be our next game. Until then, this has been Big Paulie, wishing you well, Godspeed, and God bless. We'll do it all again soon, and bye-bye for now, everybody.